Good morning, everyone around the world, or afternoon, or evening, or whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Kat and Blaine. No, this is Birch Bay, Washington, where I am. This is I stay at the marina up there, and this is a marine reserve here in Birch Bay. And in the distance, you see the billowing smoke coming out of the BP refinery, the British Petroleum, spouting out whatever. It is like a couple miles away, but look how big those clouds billowing are. So it's about 7 o'clock here in the morning. It's really quiet and nice and peaceful. The first car just drove in. There's my car, which has this whole thing at night. And now that car just showed up here, and she went down the trail, which I was going to show you now. Here you can see all these fields and stuff. There's a deer in there, a mama and her baby. They're so cute. I wish I could have filmed them, but I didn't get an opportunity to yet. I don't know. I'm leaving in a couple days to go east and south. I'll be heading towards Idaho again. Shall I stop in Idaho for a bit and stalk Owen like I've been accused of? That wasn't very fair, Royce. So I sent him an email to see if he still feels that way about me, because that was just clickbait, I think, and just something to get people's attention and stir them up. So anyway, here's the entrance, and I don't know how long this video will be if I walk the whole trail, but I at least wanted to show a couple of the upturned trees, because I think it's pretty interesting how they end up like that. The way they fall over and then they just sort of petrify in place. So there's a bunch of these little wooden footbridges here. This is number 19. So there's 19 of these going through here. They're just short little things. And here's the little sign showing these invasive species here. Scotch broom, which is everywhere here, all over the highways and stuff. Spotted knapweed, which you see a lot of, that purple stuff. And this herb Robert, which I'm not really that familiar with. Okay, we are in Whatcom County, Washington. Okay, so here we are going on the trail. No dogs allowed. Obviously cats are allowed. I'm going in anyway. So it's pretty uneventful here through the beginning, but I mean it's still nice and green, and the leaves are starting to fall, as you can see along the edges there. Seems like fall is coming earlier, but who knows with this fake weather that they're manipulating however they want to give us droughts or rain us out. Or this is the Pacific Northwest, where it's usually raining all the time, and we went 3 months with no rain right before the summer season when you needed it the most for things to grow. Okay, so here, see these trees with their interesting root systems. Okay, this one is pretty big. You can see it's pretty wide. I'll turn it sideways. I have to back up. I might fall over this hill there. See how big that is? And this isn't even the big one that I want to show you. Okay, so then here's another wooden bridge to walk over. Lots of just trees and trees. I love the trees. And it's crazy how some of them grow. The way they just get all gnarly and everything. So, here's another one. So there's not a whole lot here at the beginning, so I don't know how far I have to go to find that one tree I wanted to show you in the... I could live under it. It's crazy. It creates like a little Hobbit house. I love being in the forest. I don't know if I'm going to end up in here permanently somehow, but I don't know how I will function. I've never lived in the forest, but it keeps calling to me. So, okay, I don't know how far it is in here. Still ways. But I'm so trying to detach from the grid and everything, and everybody wants to keep sucking me back into it. Go do this, go do that, go get help. Do you realize that you're cucking to the system when you go get help? You have to do everything they say. I have to put a mask on to go get help, and I ain't doing it. I'll do without before I cuck like that. I don't know what it'll take to make me bend, but I ain't doing it. You know, I don't have to protect my daughter anymore because she don't even want to protect herself. Unfortunately, it's starting to look like she's in between the NPC and, you know, like half awakened state. She knows a lot of stuff, but she has to somehow go along with the system because her friends and everybody is already, you know, attached to it, dependent on it, and goes along so they can get all their selfish needs met, as they accuse us of being selfish because we won't take the fucking poison. You know, what does Casey call it? I forget. He's got all kind of cool names for stuff that he switches around to set up his hobo code. Okay, here's the messy forest. And woodpeckers in here. I haven't really heard them in here yet or seen any. So, oh God, I gotta find that little Hobbit house. This trail is like 3/4 of a mile long before I think it gets to some steps that you could go maybe down to the beach, but you could overlook the beach. Shoot, I don't know how far this is. Okay, it's already almost 8 minutes into this video, and I haven't gotten to it yet. I don't remember how far down it was. All right, well, here's a kind of tree that is laying sideways and then goes up. And then all its roots, you know, it's re-rooting into the ground from its branches. So when you look at these hillsides and you see all this type of growth that looks like rock, it's petrified trees. See, I could do this and tell you, look at, and you see this on the sides of the roads all the time. And you would think it's shale or some kind of rock formation. It's petrified trees. The trees were huge. So look at all that. That's a fallen tree that has reattached to the ground and then grew up all that way. From a fallen tree, that's a branch. So imagine the branches from the old trees that were like miles reaching into the sky. Hi, good morning. Okay, somebody running without a mask. The people that come in here do not have masks on. People that usually go out in nature are the ones resisting this. They're in tune with the nature. Here's another fallen tree, and look how high that's grown. That's a branch that grew into a tree from a fallen tree that you can see is going, well, you can't really see because it's covered up by a lot of brush. But there's part of it over there, and it's all covered up in the grass. But That is the branch right there, one of the branches branching out, and then the rest of it goes up. So start looking at the walls or rocks or whatever you want to call them on the side of the highways, and start recognizing them as trees, because that's what they are. All right. See, there's lots of fallen trees that you can see, like just broken and fallen, and then some of them start just branching out into the soil and using the nutrients, and it grows up. Okay, here's a fallen tree, and then here's a littler, like a conifer tree growing out of it, and that is actually part of the tree. So you can see where it's split right there. That's on the ground, that one's going up. Okay, are we getting to my little Hobbit house yet? Okay, not quite yet, but see how wicked these trees grow, all gnarly. Okay, I haven't seen any mushrooms, so I'm looking for mushrooms. I'm trying to learn how to identify mushrooms. I never was a mushroom eater. I never liked mushrooms. They're too slimy, and the texture just turned me off. So I would always pick them out of everything, or order stuff when I used to eat out. No mushrooms. Now I'm getting mushrooms at the market. Well, the girl's giving me some special ones she brings out from underneath that she doesn't sell to everybody, I don't think. And so I'm cooking them up with onions and garlic, like I used to eat liver that I couldn't eat without the onions. So now that helps me to get the mushrooms in me. So I do a lot of things to get other things in me. Like when I do my milkshake, eggnogs, I do that to get the raw egg yolk and my essential oils and whatever other powders I throw in there. I used to use mushroom powder. I want to try to use things more in their natural state and not refined and processed. The more it processes it, the less nutrients you get from it. So it's best to get it in its natural state and go from there. But it's kind of hard now with the way they are coming through.
Beautiful in here.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. I love it. Okay, a runner coming through on the rebound or something here. She just does her running in here. That's the best place to do. People running on the side of the road is ridiculous. It's like counterproductive. You're breathing in fumes and everything. Not that you're not breathing in bad shit anyway because of all the chemtrails and stuff. Probably, the trees probably filter out a lot when you want to come into nature. You don't get as much exposure as you do right out in the open in the city. There's nothing but boxes to go into, which I mean stores and houses and everything unnatural. So I'll show you a place where I would actually live in here if I could. I don't know, in a state controlled place, I don't think they're going to allow it. They'd probably come and throw me out. I don't know how long I could get away with it, but I don't even want to necessarily live in a house. It's bad enough I have to live in my car. But I got to do what I got to do until I can do something better. But the house that I was living in, I was being attacked by multiple things. I don't know, seemed like there was something in the walls. My gut was saying, so I'm guessing it was probably some kind of nano weaponry or whatever. Plus I had my Bluetooth speaker, which a job rocker, if anybody knows what that is. Now here's a split, and like the tree fell and they had to cut it to clear the path. So it's a fairly big tree, but not the biggest trees in here though. But there's a few of those along the way. Okay, here we come now up to what I was talking about. Look at the size of that upturned tree. That is the bottom roots, like. Okay, that's one right there, but this is the little Hobbit house. I have to back up so you can see this. There's a stump in there. This is a tree. You can see the tree fallen to the side. And look at this underneath here. I don't know how bright it is in here. But here I am sitting on that stump underneath the tree roots, where this tree upturned. And this is just the remains, which are petrifying. They're still, I don't know, there's still loose powdered dirt, but it's pretty well dried up and staying in place. And so this would be the kind of place I would probably like to live in. Something like this. This is the underneath of a tree that upturned. See, the tree is not even that big either. That's one of the smaller trees, but look at that root system there. And then now look at this one, how huge. I don't even, if I get too much closer, I won't be able to get it all in the camera. See how big the bottom of that is? I don't know if you can tell how tall I am in here next to it. Because look how high it goes. And I'm like right here, and look how much more it goes up from my hand. I don't know, maybe I could just turn myself like that. Me in relation to it. I don't know if it's showing. I'll have to see when I'm done doing the video if I look like an idiot doing that. But okay, this is falling off the road even, so it's down in there. Look how tall that is. Here's the size of this tree, which is a little bigger than that other one that they had to cut away to clear the path. And you can see from this side here, maybe get a better idea if I back up far enough to show you how huge that is. And then on the other side, it's like a valley where it's even higher because it's fallen in a hole almost, like the hole that it fell out of created a hole. And that thing is about, I don't know, 12, 15 feet high or something. It's amazing. So that's the main thing I wanted to show you. So I'm just going to probably head back out because this is getting a little, I don't want to get this to be too long, but I wanted to show you that, how tall, how big that is. And I'm down here by that, see that little penis thing sticking out there? That comes up to about my hips, so imagine how much taller that is than me. And I'm fairly tall. I'm like 5'6". I used to be 5'7", but there's my Hobbit house that is kind of hidden in there, coming out of a tree with about 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't know how many. It's all one tree, but it's coming out in lots of different things, as you can see. And there's my little Hobbit house. Isn't that cool? Okay, much love to everyone. Have a wonderful day. Stay blessed and positive. Think of solutions rather than the problems. For every problem, there is a solution. We got to work this together and try to get it out. We're not in this together. We're getting out of this together. Hopefully, some of us may not. So, have a wonderful rest of your day.